On my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with another Bag Talk episode. It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and today we're going to be talking about the debt. The debt must go. We are dialed in, we are locked in, we are focused. I want to make sure that we give the most jam-packed value. Obviously, me coming at this from a perspective of being fully invested, meaning I am investing everything and then paying the debt out of what is left. We are going to be making some adjustments, and I'm going to be making this video, obviously, to talk about that. So before we jump into the topic, let's go ahead and get the housekeeping out of the way. Make sure that you guys have hit the like button on the way in. If you've been here more than 2 times, do not forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Every viewer counts. When we get to 500 subs, I'm probably going to start doing my live streams again. So that'll be kind of interesting. We're going to be keeping it focused on finance, at least on my channel, this channel. But having said that, that is one of the goals, is to eventually get to 500. I'm not the greatest at this. This is just me documenting a journey. I'm not trying to, I don't get paid to do this. So it's just kind of something that I do to keep myself sane and focused, I guess. It's my financial therapy. Also, for those of you on mobile, do not forget down below there's a hype button. Hype the video. It lets people know that I'm a real person. I don't know, everybody else is doing completely AI'd videos. It's just me sitting in this room talking. So yeah. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into it. So we're talking about the debt today. As we all know, I am not one to hide the debt. Obviously, having a positive net worth is pretty impressive. I use debt as a tool. I like to have most of my debt asset backed. We had a surgery a couple of years ago. I was down for a little bit of time, racked up some expenses that way. I was not living fully invested during that time period, or that whole flow of how things happen might have been a little bit different. But ipso facto, we are where we are now because of that experience. And we have been carrying a little bit of a debt burden because of that experience. Also, we bought a vehicle. We did not go the conventional way of getting a car loan. I took a personal loan, so that way I could over collateralize to help put the money in place to pay for the car. And so that adds to the debt load. Long story short, we're carrying a little bit of debt. So what we are doing now is focusing on getting the stuff that's not sitting in a 0% position addressed and handled, is basically where I'm at with things. Going through optimizing my credit cards that I'm holding, making sure we're getting all the benefits, because some of the cards I'm looking at, I'm noticing I get some benefits on those cards that I need to start tapping into, because who doesn't like free subscriptions? I'm paying for the card anyway. There's those tweaks, but one of the focuses for me is I've never carried the amount of debt that I currently have, which is about $40,000. Granted, obviously my income portfolio, we're sitting over 60. So the asset part of that, it's like, well, you could just nix your income portfolio and start over from scratch and not have income and kill your income machine and just pay the debt off. So that way you get to say you don't have any debt. And like, honestly, if I did that after I paid the debt off, I would take out more debt to fill the portfolio back up. And that would just be pointless, because then I'd have to pay those 5% upfront fees on the first payment, you know? So that's not necessarily an option for me. It's not something I'm willing to do. I'm not going to screw up my momentum moving forward to appease people that I don't care about, that I don't talk to, that I don't really care what you think now, because that's one of the things that people are like, oh, well, you've got debt. It's like, you don't have a college degree and you got debt. And it's like, well, you have a college degree and you're worth less than me, and you can't stop working and you have debt. So I mean, I don't know. Like I'll take my scenario over most people's scenarios. Just saying. That said, I am focused on getting out from under the debt macroeconomically. I'm not liking where stuff is going, and like the Bitcoiner in me is like, yo, like you need to be in a space to where you're going fully invested in Bitcoin, so that way you can borrow from Bitcoin to fund the rest of your mechanisms and contraptions and, you know, things that I am currently utilizing. And that's the direction that I'm heading in. That's the end goal, is to continue to be fully invested, but the rest of the time that I'm working, just buying a ton of Bitcoin, most of which will be in cold storage, a small percentage of which we will be using for leverage, and, you know, functioning from that lens versus where I'm at, like maybe 10%, kind of the inverse of what I'm doing now, which is about 90% of my income goes directly into my brokerage account to build my income system out that I've got going, and continue working on that. 10% goes into Bitcoin. So I am saving 10%. The savings goes into Bitcoin. The Bitcoin can then be leveraged to help amplify and boost what I'm doing on the financial income front, so that I never have to sell Bitcoin, so that I can continue to buy more Bitcoin. But, you know, looking at the way that the nation's managing its debt, what's going on with the money supply, what's going on with the markets, it's just, I would be much better served if I'm only going to be working for another few years to get to fully invested in Bitcoin as soon as possible. And what that would look like is basically I have to pay off all my credit card debt, including the asset-backed stuff. But at minimum, the stuff that's actively accruing like stupid interest. And what I say is being stupid interest is like the actual consumer credit card interest. So the stuff that I'm paying full bore on, which pretty much has me down to 3 cards. I have my daily, 4 cards. I have my daily driver that I'm using right now, which is my Discover card. You know, I got to go check and see what the bonus is for this month. I just be buying stuff on it. It's just a daily driver. If I got to swipe a card while I'm out, that's the card that gets swiped. I have my ordering card, which is my Chase Sapphire. I get points off that. I also put all my utilities on there. And then I have the card that I'm transitioning to, which is my Robinhood card, which will be getting paid off actually this week. So tomorrow, the payment for that will be getting pushed through, so that I can pivot back over to the daily driver. Now, what we have been able to do being fully invested is my daily driver card, my Discover card, I've been paying that statement balance down. Previously, I was paying the entire card off, and I realized that I was just throwing money away doing that, more or less. I was pulling more money than I needed to, and I didn't realize it. One of the things that I've learned playing this debt game, this leverage game, specifically with the credit cards, is the statement balance is all you need to pay to not get dinged for the interest charge, the finance charges. I didn't realize that. So I'd been paying the whole card off every time it came due, which is good. Also good, whatever. But you only have to pay the statement balance because that's what you would be accruing interest on. So I've been paying the statement balance as of lately. Previously, I was paying the whole card off. And I've been able to consistently do that with the daily driver this entire time that I've been going fully invested, which is good. We've been chiseling away at the debt, which is also good. But one of the things I'm running into now is as I'm hitting my goals, because I did this so that I could get my financial system up and running to see where I was sitting with that and how we're doing. So long story short, it's been great. I like it. I understand how the system works. I understand why it will work. I understand also why a lot of people can't or won't do it, because it's very counterintuitive until you get a few months under your belt where you're living out of your brokerage, you're dipping into the margin, you're seeing how the income that comes in that pays the margin loan down is, you're seeing how much less interest you're paying living off of your margin loan versus your credit card carrying a balance. If you're going to carry a balance, I'll carry it in my margin because it's constantly being paid down. I only pay interest on the balance daily, on what's in there daily for the 30 days. I get dinged with it once a month. I've got about $20,000 in my brokerage in loans. I mean, I show my brokerage. There's about, actually, it's like $23,000 to be accurate. I'm paying $200 a month to service that. And it's being whittled at constantly. And as my checks hit, that's like one day where it's a lot less. As the portfolio grows, the income is going up year over year. That's also paying that down. Once you understand how the system works and experience it, it's a lot easier to just no brain do it. But one of the things that I've run into, because I do get obsessive about things, is I just wanted to do that. So I was like, we're going to manage all this on the bare minimum and we're just going to pay it off as it goes. And as I've started wanting to shift around, because my original goal was to have my Robinhood card be my daily driver. Now, when I got my Chase Sapphire card, the Robinhood card wasn't on my radar, but for the way that I spend, I don't like having to worry about what's getting the bonus points right now. I don't like doing all that stuff. Having a flat 3% on everything but cash back is, for me, what would be the most expedient, best use of said credit, like the way that I spend. So we're trying to get back to on that card to do what we're doing with the Discover card, which is put everything on that card, pay it down to zero, and do that. The issue is I've got a few cards that have balances on them because I pay my utilities, all that stuff, off my Chase Sapphire card, which I will be moving over. I might keep the utilities on there just to like build up some points in there. But the majority of my expenses I'm going to have on my Robinhood card, but I had to pay the card off first. So I have a balance on my Chase Sapphire card also that's a few $1,000s that I need to whittle down to where it's just the utilities, because I'm paying off those utilities. So that balance is slowly coming down. And then I had obviously the Robinhood card. And then I also have, I think everything else has been rolled into 0% deal. So I have the current daily driver, my Robinhood card, and my Chase Sapphire that are both like active. You're getting charged interest on these cards, on these balances, the stuff that they scream to the high hills in the no debt community. That's the situation I'm in. So once I get the Robinhood card paid off, I can put my Discover card away, go find a non-essential bill to throw on there every once in a while, keep it active. But outside of that, like that card can go back in storage and I can, not use it more or less, which will free up one less balance for me to manage. Then I will be living off of my Robinhood card, and then we'll focus on chunking down that Chase Sapphire to where it's just the bills and like we're paying off the statement every month, collecting points. That's the way it's supposed to be. And then, not having to carry those balances, because any balance that you're carrying that's not in a 0% scenario is just throwing money away. And I understand that. I am throwing money away. I can afford to throw the money away, but I don't want to, because I want that money working as well. So that's the focus. And how we're doing that is, as I'm hitting these metrics, because I'm pretty well lined out on track to meet all of my phase one income fully invested goals for this year. Like we are running ahead of schedule. Things are looking good. So after a little bit of back and forth with myself, little chat GPT involved, little AI assistance, little AI accounting, I've come to the conclusion that what I'm doing moving forward, and I've already started this with Robinhood card. Like I said, it's getting paid off this month. Tomorrow, actually, day after this video comes out. The next morning at 7 a.m., the Robinhood card will be paid off, which will be nice. And then it'll go into my wallet, and that'll be the daily driver. And we'll wait for the statement to come in for the Discover. and we will pay the statement. And then at some point later, we will pay off whatever's remaining from the next statement off the Discover card. How we're doing that is after I got, because I hit 2 of my goals, I got the 65,000 in my primary income portfolio, which we went over yesterday. And then after I did that, I then got my $5,000 in Chippy. We're going to have a little bit of Chippy maintenance going on, in my long-term holdings portfolio to get some income going in that portfolio to help with the margin over there. Because whenever there's dips, we're going shopping. Then what I am going to do is get my $10,000 in Chippy in my in-home banking portfolio. That's going to be a bill pay portfolio. We'll have some options running out of there. We'll get a lot of bill paying going on. It's going to be a good cash value portfolio. I'm excited about it. Prior to dialing in and going fully invested in the in-home banking portfolio, what we are doing is we are dialing back. We are paying off a credit card. The credit card in question being the Robinhood, so that way we can make that shift over. After we get to the $10,000 in the Chippy in the in-home banking portfolio, the next move will be we'll dial back again. And if whatever's remaining following the system, whatever's remaining on that Chase Sapphire card, we will pay that down also and then get that card out of the way. And then, we'll start working on the next goal, which will be setting up the Robinhood portfolio. That's going to be the daily walking around money portfolio. Getting that in position to do what it needs to do is going to be the next play for me. And in doing that, once we get to that metric, which will be $30,000, and then we'll see if we're going to do some shifting around at that point. Because by the time we get there, we should be in a space to where the margin should be margining. We should be whittling down the margin in our primary income portfolio. So that way, once all the portfolios are flat, we will only use margin out of the Robinhood portfolio because that's advantageous for us. But I also might move half of my portfolio or the whole portfolio of the income portfolio over to Robinhood. We'll see what we're looking at there, but something's definitely getting moved because I get preferential treatment for margin over there. So we will have a strategic setup over there, especially since that credit card is tied to my Robinhood Gold status, and be able to start using that to kind of chip away, pay down that credit card balance weekly as it comes in and just not worry about anything. That's what we're looking at moving forward. It's about efficiency. It's about optimization. I am constantly tweaking and optimizing. But for me, one of the things that I thought to myself, I was like, if I'm getting chunks of money coming in, then why wouldn't I just go ahead and pay down the debt and with those chunks of money as I hit these goals? So that way I am being fully invested. And then after we hit a plateau, we dial back, take a couple of checks, pay off a credit card. So that's where I'm at with that. And obviously the people who are like fully invested for life, like they're gonna come from my neck probably, because they'll be like, well, you stop to pay off credit cards. You're disrupting the momentum. You're disrupting the snowball. And it's like, well, I've already got $60,000 working for me. I've already got $3,500 a month coming in. That still comes in even if I don't put every penny back in, because the NAV erosion isn't eating my portfolio that fast because I manage it. And secondly, me personally, I am not comfortable looking at large numbers of debt that isn't asset backed. It bugs me, especially if it's not in a 0% situation. Like if I'm paying, when I start seeing those finance charges, because like when I pay my credit card, I go look and I scroll through it and I know you could just not do that. I could just not do that. It's not that I can't afford to manage the money, but that's money that could have been in a position that's making more money. And the game that I'm playing over here, that's kind of the goal. So when I have things that are sitting in interest positions when they don't need to be, it kind of it bugs me. It bugs me because I'm wasting money at that point. And I don't like wasting money. I like buying things that I want with my money. Like I just got some new trucks. I got some new trucks for my skateboard. And you know, that was like an $80 expense. I've gotten better at buying stuff for myself if it's pertaining to skateboarding. So, you know, that's that service fee could be more skateboard parts, could be more skateboard things, skateboard shoes, skateboard whatever. Something I want. And I don't want to be in a space to where something so insignificant as that, even though I can afford it, is bugging me. So it's just a lot easier for me to take a check or two, pay the card off, be done with it. Because I don't want to necessarily move it into margin, because then I would just go, oh, well, why don't I do that with everything? And then your margin's blown out. And then if the market goes down, your portfolio blows up. And we don't do that either. I don't want to have to live in the margin. The goal is to increase my income that's coming in out of my brokerage account to where it covers everything. And honestly, if I didn't already have the debt that I was carrying, it would cover everything, because any debt that was incurred would be going into the system and would be paying for itself. And then I wouldn't have to worry about it. Unfortunately, we are where we are. I started this system with a little bit of debt, had to add to, well, actually it wasn't a little bit of debt. It was a good chunk of debt. And then had to add to it to get some moves made that I needed to have made to substantiate where I'm at now. So now we're going to go ahead and, now that we've got the machine running, we're going to go ahead and start really focus firing in on getting the debt out of the way. So I did this episode, but the moral of the story is the debt must go. And we're going to keep documenting. We're going to be revisiting this. This is going to be a topic that comes up again and again until it's gone, because I have to remind myself by making me personally accountable to all of you to start attacking the debt. I have the tools. I have the money. It's just a matter of being focused. So we're going to focus. That's what I've got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for tapping in with me and sticking around. It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For those of you on mobile, don't forget to hype the video. Most importantly, share the video, which I told you to do twice because it's that important. And yeah, we'll be back next week with another bag talk. This is Future Financial Strategies, and I'm out.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play it, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.